look at happiness. Now, this is basically explaining the three chapters of my book, The Meaning of Life. The Meaning of Life is a book that will be available in the market soon uh, on Amazon as an ebook and then as a unabridged full hard cover version of 500 pages. All right. The thing is, this book has got only 6 chapters. The first 3 chapters are about God, the soul, and life. But the other 3 chapters are about happiness, the physical, the emotional, and the mental happiness. Now, when asked about the meaning of life, a lot of people would say the meaning of life is happiness. Actually, they are not very far away from being correct. When you are happy, when everything is all right, when the child is playing and in the flow of happiness, uh, the child or the human being doesn't have a question about the meaning of life. The question of the meaning of life only arises once there is something that makes you unhappy, makes you uncomfortable, makes you really irritated. So for a while, for long enough, it makes you question your life. So happiness doesn't allow the space of discomfort where you need to question life. And therefore, it could be thought as the goal of life. Uh, Now, for me, happiness, or as I understand, happiness is a continuum. So 100% degree of happiness, that's practically impossible to achieve. Theoretically, it's possible. Practically, maybe it's possible for 1 hour in life. Maybe it's possible for a few days, a few months, like a maximum a few years. But to tell me that someone has got 100% level of happiness every single day, 24 hours for 70, 80, their whole life, 80 years, that's what I would say theoretically might be possible, practically impossible. Now, here's the problem. When you're not happy, the meaning of life start kicking in. Or life would start have difficulties giving a purpose on any meaning. Now, why I talk about God, the soul, and life, or how life works in the first 3 chapters, it's exactly because of that. It's exactly because you cannot achieve full level happiness all the time. So when you cannot achieve all the happiness you need all the time, when you can achieve only 70% happiness or 50% happiness, even worse, when you can achieve only like 5% happiness, like you are basically unhappy 90% of the time or 95% of the time. So now, how can you have a meaning in your life? You need to understand something about God and spirituality and how to connect to the spirit world and how to understand your life as a challenge, not as a torture or punishment. So, but now let's go back to happiness. There are 3 levels of happiness, 3 levels or 3 pieces of happiness. You cannot say money is happiness. Like people who say money brings happiness also have eventually said money doesn't give me happiness. Like, yeah, but when money is the only thing missing, then money gives happiness, sure. But some people, especially celebrities, they keep repeating money doesn't give me love and so on. So you think happiness needs money and needs love. And then when people get really old and they tell you health is the most important part, like fuck love and fuck the money. If you don't have health, you don't have happiness. Okay, so three things. Money. It seems to be like you start thinking. It seems to be money. It seems to be love and health. Like if you have got those three things, basically that's happiness. Well, let me generalize it a little bit and make it more clear. Happiness is on three levels: the physical, the emotional, and the mental. Like, what is the physical happiness? The physical happiness is to have enough money. Yes, not to. You don't need billions. You don't need to be the wealthiest person on earth, but you need your basic needs fulfilled. If you've got a good house, it would be better. If you can have money, security in the bank, it would be better. But the physical happiness is not only about money, it's also about the physical well-being, your fitness, your health. It's also about having eyes. It's also about having legs. Like all of those contribute to the physical happiness. What else contribute to the physical happiness? Um, for example, having sex maybe contribute to the physical happiness. Okay, good. Um, so there is a physical component here. Let's say 33% of happiness is physical. And then comes the next 33%, which is emotional. If you're physically good, if you have got money and house and can have sex and you can have whatever you want and you have health and you have good eyes and body and so on, but you're always irritated, you're always angry, you're always feeling pissed off with life, you're always feeling that people are not to be trusted, then you're not gonna be very happy. Like one third of your happiness is missing here, the emotional part. Also, uh, the emotional part has to do with can you feel loved, can you open your heart to love, and so on. Okay, so this is the part where celebrities keep repeating, money doesn't give me love. Like when they say the physical doesn't give me the emotional happiness. That's what they are saying. So yes, they are somehow right, but also they are missing the point because they thought the physical or the money is everything. They made this mistake from the beginning. That's why they are correcting it right now. Like they are revising their mistake. The mistake is to think of happiness as just the money and or just the physical. Now, if we've got the physical and the emotional happiness, the mental happiness might still be missing. Why? Because the mental happiness is you are good, but your mind doesn't give you peace. You don't look at life and see beauty in life. You don't look at life and like you cannot sleep at night because you always have got this anxiety. You always are thinking what's wrong or why did people do this to me or mental happiness usually or mental unhappiness usually comes from problems that you haven't dealt with, problems from your life, like in your adult age or in your old age. You keep thinking about the past. You keep wondering why you had a bad life, why you had to deal with all this shit in this life. So, for example, Charlie Chaplin used to famously be known to cry when he sits alone because the drama, the traumas of his past used to haunt him. That was a person who used to have money, wealth, amazingly, a wife, beautiful wife, lots of love, lots of good children. But his mental health wasn't good, good enough because he needed to resolve his traumatic past. So here it is. If you've got all those three perfectly, you are in perfect happiness. Now, what if you have only 70%? As I said, it's impossible practically to have 100% of all those three parts. So what is then? Then you need to understand that whatever challenge you're dealing with, whether it is a lack of money, a lack of love, traumatic memories, those are the challenges for your soul to grow. And once you understand that, you're happy again. Now, does this mean that you can achieve 100% happiness all the time? I didn't say that. But you can be much happier using this formula. Now, if you say, okay, give me money and you will be happy. Well, I would say, well, once you understand that life is challenging you to learn how to make money, how to become successful, and so on, you're gonna be at least a little bit happier than when you are sitting there and having no money, but also having this pessimistic attitude that life is doing you unfairly, like is doing you really wrong by being unfair to you. Okay? So once you understand spirituality, you are way more happier than most people. And that's beautiful. You don't need to achieve 100% happiness, but it's good or necessary to achieve a level of happiness which is above depression, above misery, above pessimism, above like giving up on life. All right. So with that, you might be interested to read my book. It's called The Meaning of Life by Zongatron. As I said, as always, I am Zonkatron and I'll always be Zonkatron as long as I live. Chose this name just so that people remember me because it is a unique name. See you soon. Bye.